If a question makes you doubt yourself, it's not curiosity, it's control. Pause there, because the most dangerous lies aren't statements, they're questions, dressed in kindness. They sound gentle. They wear empathy like perfume. And the moment you answer, you feel it, the ground beneath you shifts. You start apologizing for things you never did, defending choices you never made, rearranging your truth to fit someone else's comfort. That's not a conversation. That's a trap. The Stoics warned us about this centuries ago. Seneca said we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Manipulators know this and aim straight for your imagination. Epictetus taught that some things are in our control and some are not. Liars blur that line to pull your mind into confusion. And Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, meet deceit with clarity, not rage, because clarity is the one thing a liar can't counterfeit. So in this video, we'll uncover the 5 most manipulative questions liars use, and more importantly, the Stoic responses that make every trap collapse under its own weight. By the end, you won't need to shout to protect your peace. You'll have something stronger, clarity that cannot be moved. They don't break you by shouting. They break you by making you question your own radar. Your sensitivity isn't a flaw, it's your early warning system. If that line hits a nerve, let it. Because manipulation rarely begins with an insult, it begins with a question that sounds like concern. Why are you being so sensitive? On the surface, it sounds like care, but underneath, it's control. Hidden in that soft tone is the real message. The problem isn't me, it's you. That's how gaslighting works. It takes your intuition, the radar that spots danger before anyone else, and rebrands it as weakness. Seneca once warned, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Manipulators weaponize that truth. They plant a single seed of doubt and then stand back as you water it with guilt, self-blame, and silence. Pause for a second, think of a real moment. You raise a valid concern at work. Someone chuckles. Don't take it so seriously. 2 months later, the project collapses exactly where you pointed. Or at home, you sense distance, less eye contact, colder tone. You speak up and they laugh. You're imagining things. That's not empathy. That's erasure. Here's the Stoic reframe. Sensitivity is data, not drama. It's an internal signal, not a public performance. It tells you something changed. It does not tell you to explode, it tells you to observe. So in that moment, slow everything down. 1 breath, 1 heartbeat, then say calmly, I'm not being sensitive, I'm being observant. If truth stands in front of you, it will listen. If deception stands there, it will flinch. Marcus Aurelius said, if someone shows me I'm wrong, I'll gladly change for truth, not victory. Real integrity never fears awareness, it values it. So treat your feelings like a smoke alarm. You don't evacuate the building every time, but you also don't rip out the batteries because the sound annoys someone. You check the source, you verify. That's how Stoics live, respond, never react. Ask yourself quietly, what exactly did I notice? What pattern did it break? What small fact can I verify next? Sensitivity is not fragility, it's refined perception. Keep it, train it, guard it. Because awareness, paired with calm, becomes wisdom. And wisdom can't be gaslit. When someone demands your trust, what they're really asking for is your silence. You've heard it before. Soft tone, steady eyes, words dipped in warmth. You trust me, right? It feels intimate, almost loving. But listen closely. That's not a question, it's a command. A trustworthy person never needs to demand faith. They prove it through consistency, transparency, and time. The ones who insist on trust up front are not asking for connection. They're asking for compliance. Epictetus warned us, you cannot learn what you think you already know. That's why manipulators love this question. It freezes your curiosity. It makes you afraid to verify. And once curiosity dies, deception thrives. Think of how this plays out in real life. In business, a partner refuses to share numbers but smiles. Come on, trust me. In love, someone keeps their phone face down and whispers, "Don't you trust me?" That's not partnership, it's programming. They're not building trust. They're testing your obedience. Here's the Stoic move. Slow the scene down. Feel your chest tighten, your breath shorten. That discomfort isn't guilt, it's data. Then answer without anger, without defense. Trust is earned through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment? One sentence. Calm. Surgical. If integrity stands before you, it will open the books, show the phone, welcome the light. If manipulation stands there, it will deflect, guilt trip, or act offended. Either way, you've learned the truth without raising your voice. Think of trust as a fortress. You don't hand it out at the gate, you build it stone by stone with time, truth, and alignment. So keep your checklist short and simple. What exactly is being asked of me? What evidence supports it? What's the smallest thing I can verify today? This turns anxiety into method, and method into freedom. Remember, caution isn't cold, it's clarity. The people who value you will never shame your need to see clearly, because real trust doesn't fear questions. It grows stronger under light. When someone tries to buy your silence with sweet words, pause, breathe, and remember, trust isn't an act of surrender, it's an act of sight. They don't defend innocence, they perform it. And they do it with one question. Are you accusing me of something? The most dangerous question isn't shouted, it's whispered. It's the moment the ground tilts beneath you. You were asking for clarity, not conflict. But suddenly, you're the one on trial. The manipulator just flipped the frame, turning your honesty into an attack and your observation into guilt. Let's call this what it is. Not a misunderstanding, but a maneuver. The goal? To make you defend your decency instead of protecting your truth. They move the spotlight from their actions to your tone, from evidence to emotion. Now you're no longer the observer. You've been drafted into a performance where the script says you're the problem. Picture it. You ask your boss about a missing payment. He leans back. Are you accusing me of stealing? You ask your partner why their story keeps changing. They sigh. So now you think I'm cheating? Same trick, different costume. The moment you start defending, the truth stops advancing. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." But Stoic silence isn't surrender. It's strategy. It's refusing to wrestle in the mud when you belong in the light. So when someone throws that line at you, don't rush to fill the air. Hold your gaze. Let the pause stretch. Let the silence become a mirror. Then say, evenly, should I be? 3 words. Clean, calm, catastrophic to deceit. Because silence in the Stoic sense isn't absence, it's pressure. The honest will clarify, the guilty will react. Your stillness forces truth to reveal itself without force. It's not about winning the argument. It's about letting reality do the talking. So next time someone tries to flip the script, remember this. You're not cruel for questioning inconsistency. You're courageous for protecting clarity. Don't explain yourself into exhaustion. Just hold your position, because truth doesn't panic, and wisdom doesn't apologize for seeing what's real. When someone needs to act honest, it's because the truth stopped speaking for them. If someone must perform innocence, they're not proving truth, they're buying your silence. And this question, would I ever lie to you, is their favorite currency. It sounds soft, almost poetic, like you've wounded them by doubting. But look closer. This isn't a question, it's a script. The stage lights are on, the tears are rehearsed, and the goal is simple. Make you feel cruel for asking, so you'll stop asking. True honesty doesn't plead, it behaves. Seneca said it best. If it's not true, don't say it. If it's not right, don't do it. Rhyme. Integrity doesn't demand applause, it endures inspection. Now, watch how this game plays out. In love, messages hidden, routines changing, eyes too steady when questioned. You ask for clarity, they exhale wounded. Would I ever lie to you? In work, a colleague dodges accountability, hand on heart, Come on, would I really lie? And suddenly, you're the one apologizing for noticing the smoke, while the fire grows behind the curtain. Here's the Stoic correction. Pause. Feel your body tight chest. That small knot in your gut. That's not paranoia. That's perception. Then answer, calmly, that's not the question. The question is, would I know if you did? That single line shifts the power instantly. Because truth welcomes light. Lies require shade. The moment you turn on the light, one of two things happens. The honest will open the windows wider. The dishonest will rush to close the blinds. That's data. No rage, no drama, just quiet verification. So build your own Stoic audit. 1. Name the inconsistency. 2. Ask for one verifiable fact. 3. Give a fair timeline to review it together. That's not suspicion, it's stewardship. You're not guarding ego, you're guarding peace. Remember, guilt is not proof, and performance is not evidence. Marcus Aurelius would say, choose what strengthens character. That means letting clarity, not comfort, lead the way. You are not cold for needing facts. You are responsible for truth. Because the Stoic doesn't chase reassurance, he invites reality. And the moment you trade soothing words for seeable evidence, manipulation dies in daylight. Peace without truth isn't peace, it's paralysis. That's the final move of every manipulator who's run out of excuses. When denial and distraction stop working, they reach for fatigue, and the line always sounds the same. Can't we just move on? It feels mature. It sounds noble. But underneath, it's not reconciliation, it's retreat. It's not a bridge to healing. It's a shortcut away from accountability. Because manipulators know something most people don't. You don't have to destroy the truth to kill it. You just have to exhaust the person who's searching for it. Here's the Stoic reality check. Marcus Aurelius never added footnotes to integrity. He said, if it isn't right, don't do it. If it isn't true, don't say it. No exceptions. No, unless it's inconvenient. So when someone pushes for closure, ask quietly, closure for whom? For the one who was hurt, or for the one who doesn't want to face the mirror? Let's put it into real scenes. In a company scandal, leadership says, let's not dwell on the past. But notice what happens next. The light turns off, the files vanish, and moving forward becomes code for forget. That's not maturity. That's maintenance of illusion. Or in love, after betrayal surfaces, they whisper, why keep talking about it? Let's just focus on the future. But you can't build a future on unburied lies. Looking forward without looking through is how deception respawns with a cleaner face. Stoicism doesn't glorify suffering, it just refuses to fake peace. It knows that silence without clarity isn't serenity, it's suppression. So what's the Stoic response when that line appears? Slow the scene down, breathe, then say with calm gravity, I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before. That line isn't revenge, it's orientation. It draws the map back to reality, because the finish line of truth isn't at silence, it's at understanding. Now make it practical. Here's your Stoic protocol for real closure. 1. Name the gap. What's missing, unclear or contradictory? 2. Request one verifiable step, a document, a timeline, an action that repairs, not distracts. 3. Set a horizon, a clear, reasonable window to review the truth together. If honesty is present, this feels like relief. If evasion is present, the fog thickens, guilt trips, minimization, calendar pressure, and all of that? Data. Because moving on isn't about speed, it's about direction. When you rush ahead dragging unspoken truth behind you, peace turns into performance. The Stoic doesn't rehearse amnesia. He builds a future that can bear sunlight. You don't postpone truth to buy comfort. You pursue truth to earn peace. That's the shift. From escape to understanding. From fatigue to freedom. From false calm to real clarity. And when you stand there steady, patient, unhurried, you'll realize something powerful. You didn't lose peace by refusing to forget. You built it by refusing to pretend. The moment you stop reacting, their power ends. Let's end this clearly. Manipulators don't need the truth. They need your balance to break. If they can make you feel guilty, ashamed, or exhausted, you'll stop asking for reality and start negotiating with your own doubt. That's the battlefield, not facts. Feelings. The Stoic answer isn't to harden your heart, it's to steady your mind. Here's the compass that never lies. First, divide the world in two. What's yours to govern and what isn't? Your attention, your pace, your words yours. Their moods, their spin, their timelines not yours. Once this line is drawn, pressure loses oxygen. You don't have to fix their feelings to protect your peace. Second, reclaim sensitivity. Your awareness isn't a flaw, it's an early warning system. Treat it like a smoke alarm. Don't evacuate at every beep, but don't rip out the batteries either. Check the kitchen. Look for heat. Verify. That single habit, observe before you act, turns emotion into information. Third, remember time is neutral. Truth has no deadline. When someone rushes you toward silence, ask, what's the smallest verification I can run today? A bank record, a timeline, a consistent explanation. Peace built on fog is performance. Peace built on clarity endures. In practice, use this three-step drill whenever the ground feels slippery. Name the signal. What exactly did you notice? One sentence, no drama. Ask for light. Can we look at the facts together? Calm voice, open posture. Set a horizon. Agree on the next concrete step, and when, you'll review it. If honesty stands in front of you, it won't fear the light. If manipulation stands there, the fog will thicken, and that's all the data you need. As Epictetus taught, impressions knock on the door. You decide who enters. Marcus would add, choose what strengthens character. Today, that means choosing clarity over comfort, method over panic, response over reaction. So here's your new stance in the storm. Observe, breathe, decide. Not to win an argument, but to stay aligned with reality. You don't owe anyone your confusion. You owe yourself your composure. And the beautiful paradox is this. When you stop feeding the game with your reactions, the game ends by itself. You're not cold for asking for truth. You are responsible for it. The day you protect your clarity, manipulation loses its only weapon, your reaction. Next, I'll give you a one-page Stoic clarity card. You can screenshot 10 lines to keep your mind steady in any conversation. You were never a pawn, you just hadn't learned the board. Here's where we end clean. You now recognize the 5 questions that twist reality. Each one is a small trap, but you are no longer small. A Stoic doesn't need to outshout a liar. A Stoic outlasts the performance with clarity. You don't chase chaos, you hold still and let the fog run out of stage lights. Because the person who sees clearly can't be controlled, and the moment you stop feeding manipulation with your reactions, it starves. Look back at who you were when this video began. Apologizing for instincts, second-guessing your radar, rushing to make others comfortable. Now compare that to who you are when you choose the Stoic posture. Observe, breathe, decide. You ask for facts, not feelings as proof. You pace the conversation instead of being paced by it. You do something quietly revolutionary. You protect your clarity like a builder protects a blueprint. That's not cold, that's care. Care for your future, your time, your peace. Here's the belief to carry forward. Standards are love with a spine. You are not cruel for asking for truth. You are responsible for it. When you keep your questions calm and your methods steady, you don't expose people, you expose reality. And reality, once seen, sets everyone free. The honest to be trusted, the dishonest to be replaced, and you to be unshakable. So make your life a place where truth feels at home. Keep doors open, windows up, and records clear. When something doesn't add up, shine light, not heat. If someone calls your awareness too sensitive, smile. I'm not being sensitive, I'm being observant. If they demand instant trust, offer verification. If they flip the script, pause. If they perform innocence, ask for evidence. If they rush closure, choose understanding first. 5 traps, 5 exits. Simple, repeatable, yours. From here on, walk like a stoic warrior, not armored in anger, but clothed in attention. Calm, observant, unmovable. In a world loud with shadows, be the quiet that sees. Choose clarity. Choose reason. Choose a peace that can stand in daylight. If this spoke to you, write 3 words in the comments. I choose clarity. Then save this video. Watch it again on days you feel the fog coming back. You're not going backward, you're practicing mastery. Next episode, your 1-page clarity card, 10 Stoic lines to keep every conversation honest and every decision steady.